KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
What do senators want the governor to address in her annual State of the Island speech? I'm Mitsuki Horiyama, leading off team coverage of the governor's address.
Plus recovery, safety, and crime, just some of the topics expected to be brought up in the governor's address tonight. I'm Julian Hernandez, getting the pulse of the community.
And more than $24 million spent on laptops without a contract. Guam's public auditor putting the local education department on notice, questioning their spending habits.
We are here now, and the state of our island is promising. As we protect against the coronavirus, we also know that fear can impact our economy. With nearly 1/3 of private sector jobs directly or indirectly tied to tourism, know this. Guam is doing all it can to remain virus-free. Guam is safe, and we are ready for your business. I know these were not popular decisions, but we made these policies based on science and based on medical advice from the State Surgeon Cell and Physicians Advisory Group. We made them because it was the only way we could contain the virus and prevent the collapse of our healthcare system. It also helps when you do the right thing, despite what it might cost politically. By stepping up to help the sailors of the USS Theodore Roosevelt by providing them safe harbor, we demonstrated our island's patriotism and our spirit of inafamalik to federal officials and members of Congress. They are now working with us to address Guam's needs, whereas before, many of them couldn't even find us on a map. Tonight, I am pleased to report that Guam is building a new era of prosperity.
Hafadates and buenas noches. Bienvenido para KUAM News Primetime. Guahu sinek dogado.
Sa Guahu si Destiny Cruz, si Zos maasi puri mañana mizu guini na programa.
Well, tonight, Governor Lulian Guerrero will be giving her 6th annual State of the Island address at the Guam Congress Building. From Typhoon Mawa recovery, rising crime rates, and cost of living to a failing healthcare system.
How has the governor addressed these challenges the people of Guam face every day? That's what senators want answered in her speech. Mitsuki Hirayama has more.
Nick and Des, final preparations underway here at the Guam Congress Building ahead of the governor's State of the Island address. Tonight, leaders from all 3 branches of government and other dignitaries will be filling these seats inside the session hall to hear Governor Lulian Guerrero's annual speech on the condition of Guam. It's certainly been a tough year for the Bucks. Here's what senators want the governor to address.
Inside session hall, security tightening up and the final pieces put into place. It's where the governor will be making her 6th annual State of the Island address. From public safety, healthcare, education to the economy. Democratic and Republican senators agreeing tonight that these key priorities should not be left out of the talks. Senators Chris Barnett and Tello Taitagui.
Anybody can take a look around here, from the hospital to the schools to public safety. We're in big trouble.
I mean, do you feel safer than you did at the beginning of your administration?
Senator Dwayne San Nicolas hopes the MAGA-HAGA will address the rising crime and cost of living.
You open up the news all the time, and it's just a horrible thing to see all the things that are happening, regarding crime and, the most vulnerable, our kids. There's a lot of that in the newspaper recently, and it's cause of concern. So I want to hear how they're addressing that, and also the economy, because it's affecting a lot of our people. The cost of living. What she's done to address those in the past year.
Vice Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes also keeping her eye on recovery post-Typhoon Mawar.
As we continue to sustain our economic entrepreneurship and the businesses that need to get back on their feet, I'd like to see what she has to continue to offer to the businesses to help out.
Senator Frank Bloss Jr. wants to focus on health care.
I'd like to be able to hear how she's going to fix our flailing healthcare system. Before we continue to have a discussion on building a new hospital and where we're going to put it, I think that we have a system that right now needs CPR.
Barnett and Tello are on the same page.
What I don't want to see is a speech where the Lou and Josh administration is breaking their arm to pat themselves on the back.
Today is going to be quite interesting to see how she's going to be able to twist the conditions of our island right now, and why there is an exodus of so many people leaving this island because of the conditions of our public safety, our health care. I'd like to see how she's going to make this work.
They're hoping her speech will truly reflect the challenges the community experiences every day. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
While post-storm recovery and health are expected to be brought up in her address, residents also hope that she addresses road safety and drug-related crimes.
2023 included 29 traffic deaths, the highest it has ever been in years. It's statistics that has Dedido father Damsel Mendoza fearful for his loved ones.
I want my kids to be safe out there, especially because right now they're still going to school.
Giga resident Alan Besigar agrees, also hoping to hear
what she's going to do to enforce the laws about it, because there's a lot of crashes lately.
Feeling safe is also top of mind for Dado Murciano.
The island, small island, there's a lot of drugs and a lot of crimes also.
From public safety to education, residents like Besigar want to hear what the administration has planned to address school safety and the reopening of certain campuses.
From Sanchez and FPLG, what's the update on those? Certain things are happening right now that a lot of, especially high schoolers and other kids are being affected about that.
Each we spoke with are well aware cost of living has skyrocketed.
Kind of hard right now, so I don't know, everything is going up. Yeah, prices in the store, gas, everything is going up.
But they remain optimistic about the future of the island.
I see the island is growing. I mean, from especially from the disaster that we just had, our economic right now is. I see that it's growing, but it's also we need a lot more on our infrastructure on the island.
Everyone's opinion is different, because my different of recovery is still yes, we're in recovery, but it's slowly building, and it does take time for recovery, stuff like that.
Julian Hernandez, KUAM News.
Well, what should we expect in tonight's address? Education no doubt will be a topic of discussion, as the Guam Department of Education has struggled with procurement issues to get problems like mold mitigation addressed. Addressing the island's drug-related crimes is also one item we hear the governor will include in her speech.
And of course, the governor is expected to discuss the island's health care and the need for a new hospital. Additionally, the MAGA-HAGA expected to highlight the recovery efforts of Typhoon Mawar and showcase gratitude for those involved. Our coverage of the 2024 State of the Island Address in partnership with PBS Guam will start Immediately after KUAM News Primetime, Governor Lulian Guerrero expected to be joined by local and federal officials inside the Antonio R. Pinco Legislative Hall.
An important programming note, KUAM's Decision 2024 segment, The Interview with the Candidates for Guam Delegate, will now begin next Tuesday, March 12th, instead of tonight. The change is to accommodate 4-hour coverage for the State of the Island address. Again, keep here after primetime for your coverage of the governor's address, then stay locked to KUAM's Facebook page for reaction to the address.
Well, time for a quick break, but keep it here.
You're watching KUAM, your leader in local news.
Troy Polamalu Safety, a.k.a. the Quiet Storm. Troy's seen more out of the corners of his cold steel eyes than most mortal men have seen straight on. The last thing an offense would witness? A fury of flowing mane, incoming at high speed.
Hey!
Cat-like quickness and supernatural instincts like Troy's only come once in a lifetime. And oh, how grateful we are that they came in ours. No one made the beloved burg of Pittsburgh feel quite as safe as this safety. The Hyundai Tucson with advanced safety and tech, because even safeties could use a little more safety themselves.
Looks like it's prime time on.
Dr. Garcia?
Crest Reality Checkup.
That grimy film on your teeth is actually the buildup of plaque bacteria, which can cause cavities in months. And your toothpaste just isn't cutting it.
Most toothpaste quit working in minutes, but the antibacterial fluoride in Crest Pro Health protects for up to 12 hours.
So I can stop cavities before they start.
Can I get a latte?
The #1 toothpaste brand in America, Crest.
Unlock your brightest smile with Crest. Available now at Payless.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Welcome back to Primetime. The woman indicted for her alleged part in the deadly armed robbery in Tamuning now being held on $100,000 cash bail. Defendant Jenna Manabusin back in the Department of Corrections prison. She appeared before Magistrate Judge Benjamin Sison in Superior Court today. Manabusin now facing charges of complicity to commit aggravated murder among others. She will answer to the charges in the indictment on March 19th.
The charges were previously dismissed against Manabusin. A grand jury handed down the indictment just last week, sending her back to prison. Manabusin and co-defendant Domingo Mendiola are charged in connection to last month's killing of 53-year-old Sumitra Lairopi. Investigators say the deadly armed robbery was drug-related. Well, the legislature will also convene an emergency session tomorrow to take up a bill allowing GPA to procure much-needed temporary power generation without the threat of delays.
But there's a new concern involving the Attorney General's office. Nestor Lecanto has more.
GPA is trying to fast-track approval for additional generation capacity before May. That's when temperatures rise and demand ramps up and the potential for load shedding increases as well. Senator Will Parkinson's bill seeks a one-time waiver of certain procurement requirements to help ensure that a $25 million contract for temporary power won't be stalled by protests. But there's another potential snag. that the Attorney General's recent temporary withdrawal as counsel for multiple government agencies, including GPA, might also mean a delay. AG Doug Moylan's office typically conducts legal reviews and signs off on such big-ticket deals.
They're saying that we cannot be the public prosecutor's office and also provide legal services to these government departments. We disagree. We've provided a workaround for them.
The workaround. AG's office is reviewing contracts. It's not acting as their legal counsel.
As long as they sign off on that, recognizing that we're looking at it for errors, for violations of Guam law, and you can't pull this, you're my lawyer number, like the defense attorneys are trying to do in those corruption prosecution cases with public health and GRTA.
Meanwhile, Senator Amanda Shelton has introduced a bill that would allow outside private counsel to review and sign off on contracts. Moylan disagrees.
There's no need for an emergency session. What they're doing is they're trying to use this as an opportunity to take away the AG's review before these contracts are signed off and the monies are paid.
He expects to appear before senators tomorrow to explain his position. Nestor Lecanto, KUAM News.
Did the Guam Department of Education get spending happy with federal dollars during the COVID-19 pandemic?
The Office of Public Accountability taking a closer look at Guam DOE's purchase of excess laptops with still undistributed to this day. Stacks of unused laptops, part of an over $24 million purchase by the Guam Department of Education, seemingly wasting away across 5 GDOE schools.
The reason for which the computers were purchased was to have remote learning for the kids during years 2020 and 2021 and 2022. This is 2023 and they were still in boxes. They had obviously over-ordered. They hadn't been properly distributed.
The Office of Public Accountability scrutinizing GDOE's purchase of what seems to be an excess of computers during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic and what appears to be GDOE's noncompliance with procurement laws to do so. Public Auditor B.J. Cruz telling KUAM the OPA found no existing fixed-price contract to explain what the price would be to vendors for the combined 34,503 laptops.
Whatever the number was that was negotiated, in the bid, for them to have been awarded the contract, I mean, being found to be the responsible bidder, they had to have had the lowest bid. What was that? We don't know because we don't have a contract, and the price for the item could have gone up and down, or it could have skyrocketed, because they're not tied to a contract that says.
The OPA also taking a closer look at the purchase of 1,600 other laptops covered by 45 small purchase orders, which, according to the OPA, seem to be artificially divided. And while some computers were priced at $4,000, Cruz believes those federal dollars could have been used for other GDOE needs. It's an ordeal that he adds reflects chaos at the time within GDOE. Meantime, Cruz says he's gotten assurance from the GDOE Superintendent, Dr. Kenneth Swanson, that Guam DOE's Internal Audit Division is putting together a corrective action plan.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a view captured of Malesio from the Cocos Island Pier.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Try new McDonald's sauce now.
Now?
Huh?
The race to McDonald's is on!
I will win! Welcome
I guess we both win.
Try new savory chili McDonald's sauce, only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, go!
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist. Over 20 years of experience.
The story of the University of Guam boasts a wide-ranging array of programs and pursuits, both academic and athletic, now spanning 56 years. And one of UOG's newest endeavors, with 65 student-athletes across 8 video games, is adding its own chapter to that legacy, with immediate and impressive success.
I was very nervous just joining it. Okay, they're very welcoming. First of all, when you join, when you come in, they had this big orientation, just everyone there. First you come in as nervous, and then you just feel the energy within there, and it's just so friendly, so happy. It's just a group of gamers. It's like meeting. It's like a second. Basically, like for me, it's like a second family.
Everyone knows about the dominant performance of the Triton's Esports program, and this season, their 5th, they're undefeated. And other schools have taken notice.
When we're challenging other teams, we just show them the utmost respect. We don't know if they're going to be good or bad, but we're just going to play our game. And then during practice, we definitely make fun of each other and push each other to get better. Whenever someone makes a mistake, we clip it, laugh at it, make sure it doesn't happen again.
We caught up with the team playing Overwatch 2 against Colorado College, with the Tritons handily defeating the opposition and moving to 4-0 this semester.
Right now, they're going to be going against like a team that has good leadership, good teammates, and they're just going to have a really hard challenge to go against this.
The program has produced champion-level players, but it's not just that. The esports experience is a high-impact, pro-level live stream, and it takes a diverse mix of talented, passionate, dedicated people who are razor-sharp backstage to support their teammates competing online. Whether technical production, event management, or play-by-play commentary, it's all about putting on a good show.
So I think it's nice to be there as a guide for anyone who's watching UOG streams, to feel like they're in the know of what's going on, and maybe it inspires other people to pick up video games.
When you're just playing, you don't really know how the stream is run, but once they give the opportunity for that, you see how it's run, how many people it takes, what it takes to actually manage it, and you just gain that skill. For me, it was very helpful, because I did production and casting, which I enjoyed.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Is there such thing as too good to be true when it comes to finding, the perfect property for you? And does that question come up like with you? You guys know me, how pessimistic I am, right? I always say, okay, what's the catch for most things that come across my desk, right? Do people come to you and say, I want to be cautiously optimistic about something?
I think generally speaking, most people want to be cautiously optimistic. And sometimes we have to be the ones to say, listen, you can't afford to be cautious right now. It's the right property. It's in the right price point. What we need to do right now is we need to hold hands and jump. Because if you wait too long, somebody else is going to get it. And then what? It's hard to find the right property at the right price point.
And that's where the fun comes in, right? Because you're like, hey, it's time to go. So, and if you got all your ducks in a row with the bank again in part 1, and you've got a good realtor from part 2, this should be a natural progression, and it should be very, very frictionless for you as a buyer.
It should. Now, we do have buyers that are very cautious, that they wait and then the property gets taken. And it happens 2-3 times. And then finally we say, hey, it's either you listen to our advice, otherwise you're never going to find the right property if you continue to wait.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty. Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Half a day, I'm Clara Calvo bringing you your weekly renewal. Today I have Rosé Shandor, who is a registered dietitian and one of the main coordinators for Payless's upcoming Kick the Fat. Welcome, Rosé.
Hafaday, thank you again for having me, Claire. It's that time of year for Kick the Fat 2024. We have our race coming up on March 16. If you don't know how to register, go to paylessfoundation.com. Our registration fees are $25 for 5K and $30 for 10K. We're getting the super nice Run Guam shirts, so it'll be the dry quick shirts for the 5K and the Run Guam singlets. We have great beneficiaries this year. We have GMH Volunteers Association, Guam Pharmacists Association, Ihinanao, Imagahit, Dan Inina, and UOG Endowment Foundation. We also have some exciting prizes. We're giving away a round trip to Japan or Manila as part of our raffle, as well as $600 in Payless gift certificates, among other raffles. We are also giving $500 to the school with the largest participation, so get your students out to race Kick the Fat this year. This year, we're bringing the Wellness Fair back to Kick the Fat Race Day. We have entertainment by Mixed Plate, interactive booths by Health City, PDC Wholesale, I Know Wellness, Guahan Sustainable Culture, Food Links, GTA, and so much more. For those of you who have registered, our packet pickup will be located at the EPOW Amphitheater, and that's on March 9. Thank you so much for having me. I hope to see you all at Kick the Fat.
Thank you for joining us. I'll see you next time on your Weekly Renewal.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Oh yeah, hot honey pizza and wings from
Pizza Wahat. Pizza Wahat. Pizza Wahat.
Hot honey pizza and wings. It's the first new flavor to make you say, pizza what?
The Guam Brewery was established with a simple mission: to deliver the island we call home with fresh craft beer, made with the cleanest and tastiest ingredients. From IPAs, stouts, sours, and everything in between. We are here with good beer to be a catalyst for creativity and community. This is your beer, Guam. Come home to the simple, fresh taste of locally brewed beer. The Guam Brewery. Guam Brewery reminds you to drink good beer responsibly.
Brian Dawkins, Safety, a.k.a. Weapon X. Brian laughs at audibles, laughs. For there is nothing he does not anticipate. He is never caught off guard, because his guard is always up. His skills of perception are honed like talons. Brian sees all. He knows all. Dominates all. His defensive prowess is feared the world over. The all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 with advanced safety and tech. Because even safeties could use a little more safety themselves. Search for your Hyundai Ioniq 5 today.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by J. Goodman, a happiness company.
In this week's Giving Every Tuesday, the nonprofit Be Heartfelt is seeking volunteers for their upcoming food donation drives that will be taking place at the Tamuning and Harmon Costules locations on March 15th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and on March 16th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Be Heartfelt is also hoping that the community comes out in full force and donates non-perishable items such as hot and cold cereal, juice boxes, fruit snacks, canned goods, chips, breakfast bars, and snack foods. The goal is to replenish their food pantry, which feeds about 250 kids every single week. Your donation will make it possible for Be Heartfelt to continue their mission to feed kids in need every week, including holidays. Your donations will make a lasting impact and ensure no child goes hungry. If you would like to volunteer your time for a great cause, you can sign up for a 2-hour shift by emailing contact@beheartfelt.com. And for more information on Be Heartfelt, follow their page on Instagram @BeHeartfelt or visit their website, beheartfelt.com. With this week's Giving Every Tuesday, Jonagan Charfris, KUAM News.
DOE is celebrating a half-century of our beloved Chamorro heritage, our language, our culture, and the Chamorro language competition is being held at UOG beginning at 8 a.m. on March 7th. That's this Thursday. Make sure to get involved because up at UOG, News Bites number 2. It's our 56th Charter Day over at the home of the Tritons. That is on Thursday. It's a wonderful time to celebrate higher education. Check out all the wonderful programs that UOG has, accelerating, progressing, making Guam a wonderful place to be through education. There's going to be exhibits, live music, raffles, everything that goes on with a Charter Day. Amazing. And a Women's Wellness Walkathon is being held up in the CNMI. That is happening on the 16th, beginning at 6 in the morning at the Enos Peace Park. That is happening right here on News Bites. Now, we've got the State of the Island address come in right up.
It's birthday wishes time.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
Biba Miss Chamorro, and happy birthday on this 5th of March to Chanel Hernandez, who is a gift from God and truly our blessing. Your shout out says, happy birthday to Chanel, and your family and friends say, we love you. Adrian Hernandez also gets birthday love, and to the woman who brings joy and laughter to our lives, happy birthday to you, Adrian, and equally, we love you. And two belated birthday celebrants today, born on the 3rd, Ethan Daniel Cabrera Guzman. Happy 18th birthday, Ethan Daniel, aka to his friends and family, Bones. You are now officially an adult, and we are proud of the man that you have become. Continue to follow Christ, and all will fall into place with lots of love. Your very, very proud family. Congratulations, Ethan. Happy 18th. And Carmen Tenorio, Monica Timanyao, Lavon Guerrero Meno, and Vanessa Guerrero. We had a blast celebrating these beauties this past weekend. Happy belated birthday to our February queens. Learning how to craft a marmar was an absolute blessing. Hugs, thanks to our instructor, Drew Murphy. Happy birthday to each and every one of you.
Estigis and Mizu primetime show si Zeus Mossy put in Enega Guahusidak Delgado.
Sa Guahusi Destiny Cruise na Fansafu Hamzu Zagosa Iponi. Keep it here. Your 2024 State of the Island special coverage is up next.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
For first down. Dorsett has the touchdown. He never went down. Tony Dorsett puts the Cowboys on the board.
After a turnover, the
In January of 1978, we did the first ever on Guam live broadcast telecast of a sporting event, and that was the Super Bowl. And Ricky Berdallo was the governor at the time, and Ricky Berdallo declared a half-day holiday for the Super Bowl.
A legacy of local. A legacy of firsts. KUAM.
KUAM TV8 is now streaming live on Peacock.
Expected to participate in the parade.
Get your local news and weather at home or on the go.
Building a home on Guam is to make sure it's typhoon-proof.
Plus your favorite NBC shows. From Today to The Tonight Show, live.
We're so happy that you're joining us.
You guys ready for this?
And so much more.
The OGs are back.
Oh, what a treat.
All in one place. Streaming now on Peacock. Treat your eyes and ears to local musical talent showcase every month with Local Music Mashup on the stations and platforms of KUAM Communications. Featuring original music and classic covers from just about every genre. Join me, Victorious Flan, on this musical journey every month. Presented by Burger King. You rule!
This year, we invest in ourselves and each other. We intersect across many identities and celebrate our experiences. We inspire and elevate the voices of all women. Women's Herstory. Invest, intersect, inspire.
Treat your eyes and ears to local musical talent showcase every month with Local Music Mashup on the stations and platforms of KUAM Communications. featuring original music and classic covers from just about every genre. Join me, Victorious Flan, on this musical journey every month. Presented by Burger King. You rule!
Good evening, everyone. I'm Destiny Cruz. Welcome to our special coverage of the 2024 State of the Island Address. Governor Lulian Guerrero set to take the stage any moment now from inside the Guam Congress Building in Hagåtña. Now, while we wait for the governor to begin her sixth address since taking office, we want to go over some talking points she's expected to deliver tonight. The governor is expected to deliver that the state of our island is strong and our future is bright. She will also address the island's attorney general. Notably, the governor will also urge senators to strongly reconsider the automatic stay provision in our procurement code. Now, especially for projects essential to our economy, safety, and infrastructure. And as expected, the governor will talk about the fight over the location to the new medical complex. She is assuring senators the lingering disagreement is not about her, nor is it the way or no way. She says it is about her conclusion as governor after input, study, research, and exploration of other sites that EPOW is not the right location. Also, safer schools and safer streets is being highlighted, with the administration proposing the continuous recruitment of nearly 100 law enforcement officers in the FY25 budget request. We now take you to the session hall where Governor Lulian Guerrero is delivering her address. Our live coverage is in partnership with PBS Guam. And remember, following tonight's State of the Island address, our Nick Delgado will bring reaction to the governor's speech on KUAM's Facebook page. Here now is your 2024 State of the Island address.
Through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave. Fanogita moru porita nota kantai matu non yagi toru ilugat para honra, para gloria, Habiba is last and parat. Para honra, para gloria, Habiba is last and parat. Todo y tiempo y paz para hita zangan ni langit na bendición. Contra peligro na fansa fuham Zeus protege Island Guam. Contra peligro na fansa fuham Zeus protege Island Guam.
For the recitation of the Inifresi, will Senator Barnett kindly lead us?
Inifresi. Ginari mastakulu gi hinasoko. Imastakulum gi corazonhu. Dani mas figo na ninasinyahu. Hu ofresi maisajo. Para by who protect. Dan who defendi. I hinengi. I cultura. I lenguaje. I airi. I hanum. Dani tanot samoro. Ni irenshaku diretsu ginenas du ustata. Esti hua fitmagi hilo I Biblia. Dani banderahu. I banderan guahan.
Call upon Reverend Father Honorio Ron Pangan Jr. to deliver the invocation.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of our loving God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Almighty Father, you are the source of our being. Our being here reminds us that you called us to be one with you, to be one in service of your people, of our island. As our dear Governor delivers the State of the Island address, we humbly invoke your guidance and wisdom. Bless her, together with all our leaders who you entrusted the care of the people. May discernment, compassion, and a steadfast commitment to justice and with sincere love be in their hearts as they continue to respond to your call of service to our people. May your grace illuminate the path of governance, fostering unity, prosperity, and the well-being of our brothers and sisters in our dear island of Guam we call home. We ask all of this through your Son and through the intercession of our island patroness, Santa Maria in Camalen. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please be seated. It's now my honor to invite the Honorable Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero, Imagahagan Guahan, to present the State of the Island Address.
Sejus Masi, Madam Speaker, ni kumbirazu magi gigumamu. Buenas and half day, todu samzu ni mangagi gini giguma ilustratura, zan todu lokwi hamzu ni man ekungo gweno huzum zaman ega. Mlago zu belnoyam zun donkulu na agresamenti ni interesamizu para informatu gini para un ekungok hafa bidan mami gini na sakan za hafa talu ben segwi gima maila siya na sakan. Bula patatsogi patana lamedgud I gubernatamenti, zam patahatsa hulu I qualidad I nila lata para I famagonta dan I famaguunia. Pagulokwi in perlu estina mes matsu para ta honra, za para ta recognition, I kutrata, I lingata, I hingenta, I histrata, dan nishanta punmansamoro. Pues maila pago de bel tutun I quentosulo dispensazo sa behu fino English. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, Madam Speaker Therese Turley, Chief Justice Robert Torres, Delegate Jim Moylan, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Senators of the 37th Guam Legislature, President of the Mayor's Council, the Vice President of the Mayor's Council, Robert Huffman, Rear Admiral Hoffman, Mayors and Vice Mayors, First Gentleman, Jeff Cook, distinguished guests, family, friends, and most importantly, to the people of Guam. 6 years ago, Josh and I, asked you to join us in a movement for change, and predictably, old voices of doubt and skepticism rose to meet us. They said that our goals were too ambitious, that our plans were too optimistic, and that our deepest hopes for Guam's future were too far beyond our reach. They said our plan to pay war reparations to Guam's greatest generation would never work, and yet our administration delivered. They challenged the way we prioritize federal funds within my discretion, never fully realizing that approximately $200 million went to help individuals, small businesses, and the public at large. And when I promised that shared sacrifice and hard choices would see Guam through a global pandemic, they said our political demise was guaranteed. But those of us who believed in Guam pushed forward and worked anyway. And with thanks to the people of Guam, the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration remains steadfast on your behalf. Despite a world still wounded by the pandemic, a global battle with the tyranny of inflation, and our first major typhoon in over 20 years, we recovered with an economy that grows stronger every day. We delivered 5 consecutive fiscal years of general fund surpluses. Tax refunds are out in an average of 3 weeks. Our rainy day fund account has real cash in it. Unemployment is down to 4.1%. Private sector weekly wages are up 11%. Nearly 2,000 private sector jobs were created in the last year alone. And more people, not less, are participating in the job market compared to a year before. We know things are nowhere near perfect. We still face challenges. We still contend with problems that have plagued us for years. And change never happens as quickly as some think it magically should. But teachers, nurses, law enforcement officers, government attorneys, and hard-working public sector employees all have a little more in their pockets because we made valuing their work a priority. We've made it possible for a single mom, bone tired after work and school, to rest assured that she can keep her goals in sight, knowing that our child care program will keep her kids in a daycare she can trust. In fact, to date, we have invested a historic $70 million to improve the quality of child care, to help child care businesses expand, and to increase the availability of that child care for more working families. Through our innovative program in Pinilan, we not only invested in a traditional child care, we expanded that investment to relative care, paying qualified relatives to care for the kids in their families. Moreover, we've made workforce investments that allow a young person who didn't quite get the hang of world history or trigonometry to now bring home a decent income as a certified HVAC technician because of our partnership with the Guam Registered Apprenticeship Program, the GCA Trades Academy, and GCC. We've built a public safety system so that a grandfather experiencing chest pains late at night can finally call a state-of-the-art 911 system that saves lives. And for the first time, we've trained nearly 24 certified paramedics so that when you do call 911, your loved one can receive life-saving care in the field, something I have wanted for Guam since I returned home in 1980. Madam Speaker, thanks to the unrelenting health of our faith of our people, thanks to those who believe in Guam, I am proud to report that the state of our island is strong and our future is bright. Without question, I address you tonight at a time of great opportunity and challenge. For the first time in 22 years, Guam's general obligation bonds are investment grade. This means that if we stay the course, our future investments in schools, roads, vital infrastructure, and yes, a hospital will cost taxpayers less. It also means that the world's best financial minds, people with years of experience and billions of dollars on the line, reviewed the facts, reconciled the numbers, and they too believe in the progress achieved under our financial management. To my fiscal team, the men and women who helped me keep a steady hand on the ship of state, you have been met on this floor by unwarranted criticism and disrespect unbecoming of our island's culture. You've been wrongly accused of not being transparent despite the growing number of mandated financial reports sent to this body monthly. But you kept the faith, you did your work, and we are better for it. Now, we know a government that does better financially only means something if the people we serve can find more economic opportunity, feel safe in their homes, and live secure knowing that we can care for them in sickness and age. That is what I want to focus on with you tonight, how we can, by our mutual effort, make this island paradise a place where everyone can successfully raise a family, and we can ensure that those who struggle are never left behind. I know that sometimes government can be adversarial, and the system of checks and balances by which we operate can make us feel like we are governed more by jungle rules than the rule of law. Last week was one of those times. With no warning to the impacted agencies, vendors, or taxpayers, the Attorney General, pending guidance by the courts, withdrew from his Organic Act responsibility to represent nearly 24 GovGuam agencies. Left unresolved, critical departments will lack the basic legal guidance they need to operate. No legal help for the home of the Sharks, still waiting on a construction management contract for a new Simon Sanchez High School. No legal advice on issuance of complex development permits. Potentially, no contracts issued for life-saving equipment, drugs, adult daycare, or behavioral health. Millions in federal grants potentially lost or at risk simply because Guam's chief legal officer, our Attorney General, has chosen to abandon his Organic Act responsibility. This cannot be what legislators or the Organic Act intended. This must be resolved quickly, if not in the courts, then on this floor. We must all work together to ensure that one public official's decision not to do his job does not keep the rest of us from doing ours. People will suffer from your actions, Mr. Attorney General. Senators, I want you Senators, I want you to know that my first call after receiving the AG's letter last week was to Speaker Terlai. We both agreed that this paralyzing move by the Attorney General's office would be disastrous to our people. Madam Speaker, I am counting on your leadership in this body to help us resolve this very serious issue, to ensure that progress in the lives of working people in business and the economy moves forward despite any and all attempts to destabilize it. As tourism heals around the world and here at home, we acknowledge that in the next year alone, Department of Defense is expected to award over $2 billion in Guam as Congress deliberates the appropriations bill. But managing the level of growth to the benefit of the people of Guam and the security of the nation demands coordination at the highest level. Thanks to my recent meeting with Department of Defense Deputy Secretary Kathleen Hicks, Guam's need for infrastructure support in and outside the fence has been heard at the highest level. To that end, Undersecretary of the Navy Eric Raven has been appointed the first ever civilian senior defense official for Guam. This grants us streamlined access to all branches of service, ensuring coordinated efforts and involvement in key decisions with regard to the buildup and other federal issues. As federal investments surge, more than ever, the competition for skilled employees is fierce, and our best employers are willing to train anyone with a good attitude and a willingness to work hard. We can show you new ladders out of poverty and into economic opportunity, but only you can climb them. Thanks to the work of the Department of Labor, we more than doubled the number of participants in the Guam Registered Apprenticeship Program in 2023, and even more growth is expected in the years to come. The agency also launched the year-round in-school youth program for high school juniors and seniors, providing students with paid summer internship opportunities within the private sector. Prior to their summer internships, students participate in workshops during scheduled breaks to prepare them for work. This program has already seen a lot of success. An average of 80 to 100 students participate per session, and some employers have directly hired their former interns. And we have gone even further. UOG School of Engineering, the Margaret Paris Hattori Uchima School of Health Nursing Annex, and the Water and Environmental Research Institute are expected to be completed in 2025, allowing us to produce more homegrown engineers, more nurses, and local environmental experts. To fan the spark of entrepreneurship and strengthen the results of small business startups, we stood behind incubator programs like GUMA, which experienced a standout year in 2023 and helped over 70 small businesses bring their products to market. Our administration also worked aggressively to deliver results on the promise of additive manufacturing and data hub management on Guam. Recently, DoD agreed to a multi-million-dollar partnership focused on additive manufacturing for ship and submarine parts. Our vision is becoming a reality for Guam, bringing more economic opportunities for our people. In partnership with NAFAC and the Colorado School of Mines, we have begun a 3-phase process to meet operational goals and build the skills to make this industry sustainable here in our corner of the Pacific. In another major leap forward, Google has partnered with Guam to lay sun-sea cables which will strengthen our connection to the internet and make us a vital data node in this region, connecting the northern and central Pacific to Asia and to the United States mainland. This innovative technology will open up partnership opportunities for our local businesses. But no economy can move confidently into the future if our families and businesses lack reliable power in their homes and places of work. At present, Guam can generate about 272 megawatts of electricity. According to GPA, this is enough to meet today's needs because demand is lower earlier in the year when things are cooler. As we approach summer and demand increases, we will be left with just 12 megawatts of additional generation capacity, risking load shedding when we can least afford it. To address this need before it arises, GPA issued emergency procurement to provide additional megawatts of generation capacity in time for the summer. We are here in large part because again and again, losing bidders protested vital procurements, often without merit, in order to force automatic stays on projects until they were years out of date or could no longer be accomplished. I urge this body to strongly reconsider the automatic stay provision in our procurement code, especially for projects essential to our economy, safety, and infrastructure. Procurements should be stayed on the basis of legal merit, not simply because someone lost a bid, and specific timelines should be set for the resolution of protests. We cannot have a one-size-fits-all approach to the procurement stay process. While we do our part to modernize our power system, we must also modernize critical technology government-wide. For over 30 years, governors of both parties have stood before you, promising the deployment of a new financial management information system. Tonight, I can report that we have delivered a new FMIS. As with any major change, we are sure to encounter some bumps in the road, and our personnel will need continuous training in order to realize the full benefits of this new system. It will provide our taxpayers with faster processing of financial data, increased reliability, and increased transparency. Madam Speaker, clearly Guam can accomplish so much more with partnership and cooperation. Last year, I stood in this chamber asking you to authorize a long-term lease for the construction of a new hospital and medical complex at Eagles Field. To oppose that effort, some members of this chamber relied on the false claim that Eagles Field could or would be returned to its original landowners even when federal law explicitly prevented that outcome. 1 year later, Eagles Field remains in the federal land inventory. Federal law remains unchanged, and original landowners are still waiting on that promise. Shortly after time lapse for this body to authorize the lease of Eagles Field, I proposed a second site for our medical complex, Eda Agaga. And without missing a beat, the same corners of opposition and divide once again said change was unnecessary or this new site wouldn't work. Our hospital challenges must be looked at in two ways: the actual facility and management and operations. Some of you have said we cannot build a new hospital until we fix the current hospital. Building a new hospital is fixing the current hospital. We are well aware that GMH is nearing the end of its lifespan. No matter how much money we pour into it, and we must build a new facility. The delay, of course, is in the selection of the site. Bill 185, barely passed by this body, would put a new hospital on a site that will not and cannot meet the expanded healthcare needs of our future, and it will come back to haunt us. It is a site that sits on a seismic fault line, which creates a financial investment risk acknowledged by our bond underwriters and would greatly prohibit and restrict access to the capital market. Lastly, this bill denies our people any other potential site location by mandating that a hospital can only be built in Tamuning. Rarely, if ever in my lifetime, has the legislature passed a statute so restrictive regarding the construction of such a vital facility. Senators, I can assure you, this disagreement is not about me or that it has to be my way or no way. It is about my conclusion as governor after input, study, research, and exploration of other sites that EPAL is not the right location. We are planning in the interest of an improved healthcare system for our people 5, 10, 20 years from now. With all of the opportunities for economic growth that I just outlined, it is simply short-sighted and unrealistic to build a hospital in a place where there is no room for the future expansion of medical services our people will surely need. My strong conviction and my sincerest opinion is that we need to build a hospital with forward thinking, located it in a space that can house a medical center and can accommodate the growth that will happen and in fact is already happening on our island. It is literally our job to plan for Guam's future healthcare needs and yes, to manage the current ones. With regard to GMH's current management and operational challenges, we are in active discussions with off-island experts to assess operations, including the financial system and revenue cycle. Lillian recognizes the need to partner with private healthcare experts to address our healthcare personnel shortages and the financial stability of the hospital. While GMH issues are not unique, healthcare is about more than just hospitals. Last year, I announced a major change to our health insurance landscape. To contain the rising cost of health insurance, save taxpayer dollars, and improve member outcomes, the government of Guam would self-insure medical, dental, and pharmaceutical coverage. If you read the paper after that announcement or listened to talk radio, you might have thought the sky was falling, or even imagine the end of days. But here we are. The sky is intact. The government is completely self-insured. We are containing the cost of premiums. Doctors are still seeing patients, and they are being paid to provide care. And pharmacists are dispensing medication and making a living, proving once again that betting against Guam and our people is a risky proposition. We've made healthcare progress in other ways as well. To address our island's mental health needs, Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center's innovative policies have led to partnerships with key stakeholders like the University of New Mexico and WICHE to establish a psychiatric medical residency program and a clinical psychology internship program, with the end goal of being able to hire more psychiatrists and psychologists. If you have a child with autism, behavioral health is partnering with community organizations to provide evidence-based parent training and applied behavioral analysis services for children with autism spectrum disorders. With child care development funds, we are expanding our ability to provide these valuable sources, a gold standard of care for the autism community. Now we can help keep families here instead of forcing them off island. As we think boldly and move aggressively to expand economic opportunity and transform healthcare on Guam, we know that real and honest change must also take hold at the Department of Education. Education is the lifeline to our future success, and the opportunity to earn college degree should belong to everyone willing to work for it. But not everyone who goes to school wants a university education. This is why I am calling on Dr. Swanson and the Board of Education to transform our K-12 educational curriculum to allow for more in-school, skill-based training that allows willing students to start on a career upon graduation. Career-connected learning, much like the work we are already doing with GCC and GCA, is about every student having access to hands-on learning opportunities that lead to a future career they choose for themselves. In short, the classes we grew up with, woodworking, automotive, hospitality, and more, return to become the foundation of skills so many need to build a career. While we seek change in the way we teach, we know that we must dramatically improve where we teach. Tonight, I join this community's long-standing call for a private island-wide maintenance contract of all DOE schools and the consistent annual appropriation to make it so. Last year, I called on this body to use the authority only it has to transform DOE's procurement system into one that works. Instead of rolling up their sleeves and honestly applying themselves to that task, some sought to create crisis rather than solve it, to close schools rather than construct a realistic and safe schedule for maintenance and repair. Thanks to your bipartisan effort, that manufactured crisis was averted. But for all that, Some on this floor say DOE cannot do. How many times did they proclaim in a public hearing or press release that in 2023, our high school graduation rate was 90.7%, 22% higher than 10 years ago. And recently, despite so many challenges, a school system handcuffed by broken procurement laws and bureaucracy won full WASC accreditation for 6 years. To every teacher and administrator, counselor, school aide, member of support staff, and parents, you did these things and you deserve our thanks. While we are at it, let's do one thing more. Before the year is out, to reunify interscholastic sports. We are one Guam and our children are elevated with more opportunities to play and compete against one another. I know that those of us in this chamber tonight shares many differences of opinion, but I know nothing should unite us more than keeping our children safe. To achieve this goal, daily visits to our island middle and high schools are now a part of GPD's regular patrol beat. And police reservists are regularly assigned to campuses of concern when the need arises. From safer schools to the fight for safer streets, Josh and I are keeping our commitment to building a safer Guam, proposing the continuous recruitment of nearly 100 law enforcement officers in my fiscal year 25 budget requests. It's why we worked with the late Senator Pito Terlai to create a new public safety retirement age, maintain salary increases going forward. And it's why I asked this body to consider granting greater annual leave accrual to law enforcement officers. When it's your job to save lives, harm's way, you deserve the time off to rest, reset, and get back to work. Finally, I also ask this body to continue pace with increments in public safety. A salary increase means nothing if it is eroded by years of missed annual adjustments. I believe our proposition to future law enforcement officers is fair. We will give you good wages, regular increments, an early retirement age, and ample time off with your families. But going forward, we will expect something more of new recruits. If we train you for a career in law enforcement, we will ask you to sign on to a minimum 3-year commitment to serve the agency you trained with. Should you leave government service early, you will be asked to repay the prorated share of your training cost. We respect your right to advance and do more with the skills you've learned for free. But this opportunity does not come without a cost, and it should be available for those who want it after you leave. In an age of viral posts and messaging apps, the crime we only read about in the paper years ago follows us to bed as we scroll at night. Although drug-related arrests are up, and we have confiscated more meth than our predecessors, the drug-related crime on our street is unacceptable. and the overwhelming number of referrals to our Child Protective Services Division reveals that too many of our homes, once safe places, are vulnerable to addiction and abuse. Addiction that has parents choosing to feed their drug habit rather than feed their children. I was a nurse long before I was your governor. I know firsthand that the damage caused by drugs and their dealers is measured in human lives and wasted dreams. Unfortunately, the evidence shows we can't just punish our way out of drug-related crimes. A more effective avenue based on evidence would be to expand rehabilitation efforts. A prime example of a successful rehabilitation program is Robert Dames. Without it, he believes he would not be where he is today, mentoring Department of Correction inmates going through the same struggles he went through. For many years, he volunteered with prison ministry. Robert is now employed with the Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Program at Behavioral Health. He is here with us tonight. Thank you, Robert, for being such an inspiration. And because Josh and I both know that issues of addiction are often coupled with challenges of homelessness and abuse, one multi-unit apartment complex is being prepared to function as transition housing in our ongoing effort. And an emergency drop-in shelter will follow soon after. Clearly, there is more demand for treatment services than our capacity can meet. This is why capturing every dollar owed to customs and quarantine is so vital. More revenue means more canines, inspection equipment, and officers to harden our port against drug smugglers and other bad actors, cutting off supply and preventing addiction before it begins. To do this, we are aggressively pursuing a new automated system for customs data at our port. This tool will help us improve security and fight corruption by enhancing transparency and streamlining cargo control, transit, and clearance of goods into our island. As we work through this multi-phase project, the goal is for technology to properly capture data, duties, and revenue which we can deploy in our fight against drugs. Guam has long been a place where people from every creed and culture could make a home. But for so many, the cost of new home construction is still too high. The shortage of skilled workers is a major driver of this cost. This is why we've worked at both national and international levels to ensure that the number of skilled laborers on island now exceeds 5,000, a figure that has not been achieved on Guam since the construction boom of the 1980s. As skilled labor increases at record rates, so will our housing inventory be expected to rise. We've also issued millions in mortgage and rental assistance, helping many stay in the homes they already have. Still, too many working families, even those with good jobs and great credit, cannot afford to build or buy a home. So we need to accomplish three things. First, maintain and, if possible, increase the reliable stream of labor necessary to keep pace with the demand for construction in the private and public sectors. Second, because our rising cost of housing is directly related to federal policy itself, Guam must seek a greater allocation of federal tax credits directed toward the construction of affordable home development. And third, we must review and reconsider any local or federal policy which needlessly impedes growth or hampers responsible development. The Lieutenant Governor is leading the effort to ensure that our administrative rules regarding responsible development are common sense, easily understood, and realistic. We can and will strike an appropriate balance between protecting our environment and ensuring every family in Guam has the chance at a safe, affordable place to call home. But we also know that home is about the communities in which we live. For this reason, the work we do with our village mayors is essential. We know you understand your village needs better than anyone else. It's why every village received $100,000 to add to Typhoon Mawar recovery efforts, and the village saw fit. It's why we deployed $600,000 in village child care grants, refurbished 15 village basketball courts, repaired miles of village roads, rehabilitated decades of old flooding zones in Barrigada and Agate. It is why the Dedido pool is open for business right now, and why admission to the pool will be free through April 30th. From COVID to Mawar, I know times have not been easy for anyone, let alone our mayors and vice mayors, but our actions prove that you will always have a partner in us. As I speak to you tonight, the sons and daughters of Guam's Army and Air National Guard are deployed to places of potential conflict in lands far away. The same is true of their counterparts in the reserve and active duty, regardless of their branch of service. They do not serve alone. They take with them the prayers, the anxieties, and best hopes of everyone they love. And to care for them when they return is our sacred duty. It is why we called for expansion of the existing footprint of our community-based outpatient clinic, or CBOC. And yes, it is why I am so passionate about co-locating other veteran services at a state-of-the-art medical complex at Eda Agaga, because our veterans and all of our people deserve a continuum of health care. I know that we may not reach all of our goals in the lifetime of this administration, nor will I promise that our journey will be easy. But I do know this. We must have serious public policy aimed at expanding healthcare coverage and lowering the cost of health insurance for those struggling to afford it now. We need a transformation in education and a procurement law that prioritizes outcomes over delay. Yes, homes need to be affordable, and the products on our shelves cost too much. Without question, there is too much violence in our streets and too little hope for those trapped in generational poverty. But I cannot do this work alone, and your ideas must be greater than simply opposing mine. So tonight, I say this. Senators, send me real public policy on which we can find common ground and share a common goal. Send me a land use plan so we can build the future well. Let's fund the land best so we can make our little families whole again. Send me plans to build new precincts and fight the true causes at hand. Show me new and innovative public policies to combat inflation, capture more revenue, and expand our economy. And in this term, let us construct a new hospital in a location that fosters growth and progress for our island. If we start with respect and always remember the people who sent us here, if we focus on common ground, acknowledging that we can always disagree better, Guam's future will stay bright, and a better tomorrow will always call us forward. Madam Speaker, I offer my hand in the spirit of cooperation and diplomacy so that we can work together in the best interest of our people. God bless Guam and Suju'us Ma'afu.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.